How somebody else's accident got me fired. Well, guys, Mike got an interesting story about that. So he's here to share. Let us know, man.
So pretty much back in the day, I was running as an owner operator for this small but really nice company to work for. Everything was up to the par, like the communication, the dispatchers, the management. I was really excited there and, really making money.
It's a good spot, something you could call home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one day, out of the blue, the company just shuts down the doors. And just later on, because the transportation industry is huge, but at the same time, it's a small playground. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. I came across one of my dispatchers from that company back then.
Yeah.
And basically, what happened? There was an accident, and that turned into the ugly accident that turned into lawsuits and stuff. And the company just, it was too small of a company to afford the legal battles.
Okay.
And basically we had to shut down the doors. And as far as I understand, because that happened so quickly and so unpredictably, I don't even think everyone got paid because simply there was no money left.
Wow. See, so that's what was kind of interesting, how like one person can affect everyone on the fleet. And even though that happened so quickly, like the fall of the company, I wonder what that one guy's behavior, like, was that so quick? Like, or was he a problem, you know what I mean? And
well, I'm pretty sure if there was no other problems, maybe that wouldn't be the case, or the accident was just that big that, we had to pull the plug.
yeah.
However, the chances are, that could have been something with a predictable history. And, like maybe we looked into the legal options and we realized that, no matter how we spin it, eventually it will become negligence, and there is no way out. Could have also been the cost of insurance, because if the renewal was back there and then, nobody's going to insure the company like that after the incident like that.
Right. So that's one incident that just affects everyone, because it's not just a company. That was, if I don't know how big that fleet was at the time, but even if it was 20 guys, 10 guys, it doesn't matter.
It was about 20, 25 guys. So it wasn't a big company. It wasn't a small company. It was just like that, nice sized company to work for.
And those guys were settled. A lot of the guys there that had nothing to do with anything were pretty much settled, and now all of a sudden, boom, they're displaced. So it can happen that quick. Which kind of leads to the next topic: how someone's behavior, what forces the hand for certain companies to vote somebody off the island. Like these are tough decisions, but it's because it's more than just that one person involved. There's so many people involved, and the outcome could be just that, what you experienced.
Oh, absolutely. And we just recently had a situation right here where a couple of things happened. Let's say the first incident was the guy hit the bridge.
Right.
No big deal, no damage to the bridge, it's still there, but there was damage to the trailer. Again, not a big deal, costed us, I think, about $2,000. That's one check mark.
Right.
Because, again, I drove personally for like probably 12 plus years, and I never hit the bridge. You pay attention. You don't take risks. You don't just maybe and just squeeze it.
Tuna can.
Yeah. So a lot of people that I know never been in that situation. So you always want to give somebody benefit of a doubt, but how many of those you can have?
Right. Because another sign, things that I've always seen as well is safety department starts getting calls about a certain individual, what they're doing, how they're driving. And I get it. Not all of them are going to be real. Absolutely. Four-wheelers tend to exaggerate sometimes, and we get that. I understand that part too. But if you're getting constant calls, or how about a video, man? A video of what the guy is doing, that could be problematic.
And by the way, the same guy with a rooftop was one of the guys that we received the video from the other fellow, not our driver, but the fellow truck driver,
right?
Who did send that video to our Facebook, kind of saying, "Hey, this guy is swerving on the road." Now, okay, that's two. And the biggest challenge for me was, right away we contacted this guy, like, hey, is everything okay? Are you tired? What's going on? Because here's what happened. And the reaction of the driver was kind of negligent, like not being willing to own up to this. Because if that was me, and I get it, as a driver, you drive, you don't know, in the last hour, okay, maybe you swerved a little bit once, right? But first of all, that was a little bit more than once. And second of all, the driver's reaction was like, no, it never happened.
Send me the proof.
Yeah, so there is no conversation. And how you gonna talk to a guy like this?
Right, because I mean, even if you also want to think about it, you as a driver or you guys as a driver, what warrants, like, at what point seeing something do you become concerned that you make a video and have to send it in, right? Like, I mean,
and again, especially because it didn't come from some pissed off four-wheeler.
Right.
It came from another truck driver that I looked into his Facebook profile.
Yeah.
And he's a legit truck driver. And looking at other stuff, he doesn't look like some kind of drama queen just looking for problems. So my own driver's reaction was way worse than the individual who was sincerely concerned.
Right. So and then again, then all of that leads up to an accident. And then that was the writing on the wall. I mean, you had so many events. I get it. Things are going to happen to people. I mean, I get it. You never hit a bridge, but doesn't mean that there's a good driver out there that maybe just got caught up. And
I agree. This is why accident is called the accident.
Right.
And it's okay. Stuff happens. If we're going to look at everybody as an enemy because of an accident, that's wrong to begin with. But when you start seeing the pattern of negligent events, how many negligent events can the driver have before you decide to pull the plug? And now let's talk real quick about not so much what's in it for the company to pull the plug, because for a company, besides all the liabilities, it's also loss of income. You pull the plug, the driver is gone, not making money. But now, I believe that every company should be pulling a plug on a driver that we kind of described.
Yeah, because that's kind of interesting you said that. It's why people pull the plug, because there are companies out there, I've seen it firsthand and all that won't pull the plug because of what you said, loss of income. So you kind of lie to yourself that nothing will happen, maybe just a good conversation will buy you a couple weeks, but how much money did you make in those couple weeks? Is it going to offset what's about to happen?
Yeah,
more than likely
because multiple things. First of all, the insurance deductibles. Second of all, the potential increase in cost of the insurance. And now, all that, I believe, we as a company, we owe to our owner operators that run under our flag to eliminate individuals like this, because indirectly that will affect the guy who is doing his job
and doing the right thing
and driving safe. Because the next thing we know, the cost of insurance can go up significantly. Obviously, one little accident is not gonna overturn anything in this company, but if we allow things to keep happening and not gonna do anything about it, eventually the cost of insurance is going to go up. Sometimes it may go up so crazy that there is going to be no funds available to maintain the equipment. Everybody wants to have a good trailer, right?
Yeah.
So now the company may be, slacking on changing tires on time, doing this, doing that, like looking at the brakes. Maybe you can push another 2 weeks instead of just, hey, you know what? Let's just replace those brakes. It's time to go, because, the money can solve a lot of problems. And for a company, that can be a good solution to keep a good fleet. For the owner operator that works for that company, it's a safe place to make sure that we get paid, because the company is in good standing.
Yeah, and again, like you said, we have to protect everyone. It's not just about that one incident. It's about looking at it, the whole picture. Is that person a genuine risk to the entire company and our ability to operate and function? Because again, there's drivers that have longevity, and we owe it to them. We owe it to everybody else on the fleet.
Absolutely, because that individual, let's say he causes couple other problems that worsens company's safety score. And how many times the customers, the brokers, will judge you based on your safety score. Some companies will not even allow certain carriers to enter that company. So I think we owe it to our owner operators who are working safe to actually eliminate individual like this, because in the long run the problematic individual will create so many problems, and then that will affect the unsuspecting owner operators in the fleet by getting lesser rates, less customers, problems gonna be getting solved much slower, because everyone is already gonna be looking at the carrier as a problematic carrier.
Yeah, and again, and that's the thing. If you don't watch and be careful and mind, the business in itself can change. That company becomes something different, and unsuspected drivers who just been like, hey man, I've been doing the right thing for how long? Kind of like yourself, out of left field, all of a sudden, you found yourself looking for
another company.
What happened? And so there you have it. Pulling the plug on someone when it comes to safety issues, it's not just an isolated incident. You have to look at the big picture. You have to look at your end game, if in the future, and where you want to go, and how many people are actually involved. It's the entire team that's involved.
Yeah, so the bottom line is not just safety versus driver or stupid policy or what not. It's about the holistic view of the total outcome, and the bottom line is the unsuspecting safe owner operator should not be put at risk because of somebody else's negligence, and that does happen.
Agreed. Comments,
opinions, your stories. What did you broke? How many bridges did you burn? And we'll read them all.
All right, guys, drive safe.
Take care.